Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And it's October 10th at 10:50 p.m. Nothing really going on, right, guys? Nothing to talk about. I don't even know why we're in this studio.
Hey, we built the crib.
Hey, we
build a
did.
crib.
Yeah, I guess official announcement on the pod. I've got a little girl showing up on November 25th. And these gentlemen showed up early to help me build a crib.
We showed up early for something else, too.
No, the crib was the only most exciting thing that happened tonight.
Yeah, that was it. We didn't. We got a couple of delicious beers from Iceland. Oh, Iceland qualified for the World Cup. That's what this pod is
very
about.
exciting.
Yeah, Iceland. We were drinking some
Good for
nice.
them. A country of what? 400,000?
I don't know, smallest country to ever qualify.
Yeah.
In fact, so Ron, while we're
Right.
building, and I'm having one right now, he brought us an Einstock, Einstock berry pale ale. What's the berry again? Do we have this on one of the pods?
Yep.
The Arctic berry pale ale. We did, right?
Yep.
An oldie but a goodie on the way back. So we're enjoying some Icelandic beer. Just cheering on Iceland because nothing else happened today.
Nothing.
Which
means we should talk about beer.
The shortest pod ever. All right, yeah, let's talk. maybe we'll talk about U.S. soccer a little bit later. But first, we're going to talk about some beer because Ron's got the beer pick while I enjoy this nice Iceland beer. Go Iceland! Skål on to the World Cup 2018. I'm going to order my jersey tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so in my quest and for finding hard to find beers, I found another one.
Is it as hard to find as an equalizing goal for the U.S. men's national team?
No, I think it's easier to find the beer.
Easier to find. Just checking. Okay.
Easier to find the beer.
It's going to be a snarky head cake episode.
I was going to say, the hate cake, the sarcastic hate cake is rolling.
Especially because you and I are the only two talking. Ferris is very quiet.
Ferris, there is... So, do you remember Clue?
Yeah, the movie or the game?
No, the movie, right? Because right now, this is what I see coming from the other side of the mic. Flames on flames on the side of my face. That is Ferris. Madeline Kahn, so mad in Clue. That is Mr. Ferris.
Oh man, it's gonna be a fun hate cake episode. But first, we got beer that's easier to find.
The Orlando Magic can win a preseason game, and the U.S. can't win against Trinidad and Tobago. Both of them. Are you kidding me?
That's
the
three.
Browns right now are sitting at home going, "Wow, you guys suck."
That's accurate. 3 bombs in the first 4 minutes. Amazing. Okay, let's talk about beer real quick. So
there may not be that anymore because it could end up being a short pod. We'll see what happens.
That's probably fair. So in the I'm so speechless.
The kind
The U.S. lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes. Okay, so since I continue to seek out the hardest beers I can find and bring them to the pod, I found St. Joseph's Abbey beer, which is exceedingly rare. Does anyone know why it's... Well, it's not exceedingly rare. It's rare. Anyone know why?
From Belgium?
It's St. Joseph's Abbey Ale. Do you know why it's rare?
Why is it rare?
Because it is the only Trappist beer
California?
outside of the U.S., or outside of Europe.
Trinidad.
And it's from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I don't know why I thought it was California. So the only Trappist Abbey... Is it Trappist?
It is 100% certified Trappist.
The only one outside of Belgium.
Yep. So St. Joseph's Abbey is a monastery of the Catholic order of strict observance. So watch out, all of you Catholic people, rulers in the knuckles, all that kind of thing.
Well, I despite the first 5 minutes of this podcast, I am Catholic.
See you at confession.
He's a good Irish man. Popularly known as a Trappist in Spencer, Massachusetts. It's known for its production and marketing of Trappist preserves, a line of jams and jellies, which partially supports the Abbey. But on December 10th, 2013, the Abbey was officially certified by the International Trappist Association to become the first Trappist brewery in the United States and the first of its kind outside of Europe. It was started in the 1970s by the best name on the planet, Friar M. Basil Pennington.
Basil Pennington.
It's such a great
That
name.
is fantastic. I
Such
feel like
a-
he's on Faulty Towers.
Yeah, really. The monks were essentially concerned that with the increasing costs of maintaining the abbey, they became interested in brewing beer, like basically every other Trappist monastery in the world. In 2010, several fact-finding missions were dispatched, and the first one was to the Belgian Beer Festival in Boston, which is kind of cool.
That sounds like a road trip we need to take.
Yeah. So they went to breweries in Europe and they met all these different Trappist people monks who essentially shut the doors on them in the very beginning because they didn't think that a Trappist brewery could exist outside of Europe. But eventually, the other Trappist brewers helped them out and established 3 recommendations for the enterprise, and they hired a skilled brewing engineer. They built a modern, state-of-the-art facility which you can take tours, and they brew one single beer, and it is called the Spencer Trappist Ale. It's a blonde ale at 6.5% alcohol by volume, and it is the only certified Trappist beer outside of the whole of Europe.
That's awesome.
One for you,
Look
Sweet,
at this.
man.
I love the
one for you,
Awesome.
very classic,
one for me.
but slightly modern graphic design. Gives it that like American twist. It
Yeah.
makes it look a little different than the other Trappist ales.
I like that it says pair with family and friends.
Oh,
That is cool.
After building a crib today,
there we go.
perfect beer.
Did you? Was that smart thinking, Ron?
I'll do what I can.
Or was that coincidence? And you're like, oh, I didn't notice that till just now.
I'm not. Nope. Trappist inspired by traditional refectory ales brewed by monks for monks. Spencer is a full-bodied, golden-hued Trappist ale with fruity accents, a dry finish, and light hop bitterness. St. Joseph's Abbey is in Spencer, Massachusetts. It's home to a community of Trappist monks and the first American Trappist brewery outside of Europe. Following the Benedictine tradition of something in Latin, which means prayer and work, the monks pursue a simple life of contemplative prayer, manual labor, and hospitality. The brewery helps support the monks and their charitable outreach. Visit them online at spencerbrewery.com.
I think the Latin is ora et labora,
I'll take your word for it.
prayer and work. I think that's how you say that.
And it's cool. They have they only store it in a bottle, and then they gave you the specific glass that you should pour it in on the back, and then each one has the a made for date basically on the back, so you know when your bottle was made.
So this is a golden ale.
Yeah, it's actually under the blonde ale category, but it's slightly more. It's supposed to be slightly more golden than a standard straw-colored blonde ale.
Well, I'm ready to try this.
Yep, served at pretty close to the right temperature. It's not too cold. And their bottle cap is, ooh, watch out. It's foaming.
very foamy, spilling. Yep, yeah. Oh, gosh.
I'm just going to hang on here for a second.
I'm glad I'm in my quick, dry shorts because I'm soaked.
Yep, Blake had a mishap.
That is a very carbonated beer.
Yes.
I had a mishap. Look at you.
It's not all over my pants.
No, it's all over. It's just next to electrical equipment. It'll be fine.
It's all right.
It'll be fine. It's taken us 70 episodes for this to happen.
It's true.
That's pretty freaking good. That's hysterical. Oh, man. Well, boy, I'm glad I'm at home because if I had to drive, I would smell like a brewery.
Yes, that is accurate.
Because that is a yeasty beer.
Kara's brilliant.
And my wife just opened the door and leans in a roll of paper towels. That was fantastic. I will say this, Ron. You know what it's got? With all that foam?
Head
Got
retention.
good head retention. Holy cow.
Ooh, that went everywhere.
Yep.
But they're accurate. It's much more.
Ferris, how you going to open it, buddy?
You want to give me some paper towels real quick?
You know
Just in
what?
case?
I'm going to tell you, you're near the door. You may want to go over the sink next to you and open it because it's going to go. It's going to go. Look at Ron. Look at me.
It's going to go just like the U.S.'s World Cup hopes.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, the good news is I got most of it all on me. So,
Oh, that's just punchline scramble.
yeah, so I don't think Ron, your side of the studio desk is going to get real sticky real fast.
That's true. I'm really trying to behave.
Look, Ferris, what are you doing? Did it work? Look, he had the option. He actually had the knowledge to do it differently.
It didn't foam that much.
He made a bib for his
Yeah,
pants with the
I made a
paper
bib.
towels.
Oh, it's a wait. What? That's from the league. What is that? P-bib.
The P-bib.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I kind of made a bib and kind of half worked.
Oh
I mean,
my gosh.
is it bad if I squeeze it out of the paper towel into the glass?
Oh man.
I mean, is that wrong?
My God, what were these? What the hell happened?
Yours is still going, dude.
I know. I'm trying to
Pour it in a glass. What are you waiting for? You- Oh man. Well, yeah. I mean,
It's gonna be one of them
I'm
pods.
mopping the floor in here today. Glad this is a Florida home with a.
Man,
That was a freshman pour, Ferris. That is just.
I was just trying to get a damn glass. USA aren't going to make the World Cup. We have beards foaming all over the damn place. Give me a break.
Oh man. I'm gonna take a picture of this terrible pour that Ferris has got going on. Not professional.
I have the best head retention out of anybody here right now.
Oh man.
most of my beer ended up on the table. It's a good thing I have a fourth.
Mine's it's my quick dry shorts, but that's
Now they're sticky.
they're just beer riddled sticky shorts at this point. That's fine. My iPad case saved it, so I'll smell this delicious Trappist beer throughout the pod. Hey, could be worse.
You're right.
Yeah, the U.S. could have been knocked out of the World Cup. Too soon?
Hey, you notice one thing I didn't do? I didn't bring in the Arsenal Hate Cake rum. I'm really glad I didn't. We'd have been past. You guys would have slept
I'd
here
be
tonight.
staying in
Yeah.
that crib
Yep.
that we just built.
All right, let's try this beer.
All right, gentlemen.
You good? Or can Ferris even
I'm
try his
just
beer? It's
on
got 8 foot of foam in it, the way he poured it.
He poured it like it was a Budweiser.
You told me it was important. I was trying to get it out of the...
Well, now we know. Crack it open cold, let it warm up through the show.
Right.
That might have been what got us, or maybe not. I mean, it might just be.
I mean, it's only been out of the refrigerator for
like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah. It's true. That's true. And in an insulated case. Well, that was
right.
hysterical. All right. There we go, gents. Cheers.
cheers.
Cilantro. That foam tastes good.
Woo,
Ooh, that's good.
man.
Way to go, Trappist Brewery in the USA.
Man, it's so it's kind of got a honey thing going on.
It's like a honey caramel.
It's like a light triple.
Yeah.
It's like a light if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not as heavy on the alcohol.
It's not clear. It's unfiltered.
This is the kind of stuff that, like, when you see old period like movies like Robin Hood or whatever, and they're drinking the beer, this is what I imagine it tastes like.
It's pretty awesome.
It's got an old school vibe to it, you know.
Yeah.
Got the got those honey notes, the malt sweet just the right way, but not like a sickly sweet.
And just a slight hint of bitterness from the hops at the end.
Just a little.
Just a wee tiny
Man, that's delicious. And this was from Spencer
bit. Spencer.
or Spencer Trappist Ale.
Right.
It's from
It's-
St. Joseph.
St. Joseph's Abbey. Yeah. It's Spencer Brewery.
Good call, man. Hey, we got a crib built. We're introduced to a new great beer. Let's just stop the pod now.
All right. See y'all next week. Be sure to follow us on...
Untapped.
geez.
Facebook.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about the fact that last Friday we all went to our first World Cup qualifying match
Which was awesome.
in Orlando with the U.S. men's national team taking on Panama, arguably a better team than Trinidad. And we had a really fun time.
Yes, we did.
It was a blast.
Yes, we certainly did.
Christian Pulisic looked like Superman.
Oh, boy, did he.
Bobby Wood had a great game.
Bobby
out the
Wood
door.
should have been the player of the match.
I agree. But
He had a hand in every single goal.
and unfortunately for U.S. soccer and U.S. fans, they only vote for the person who scores the most.
They went to Altador, right, with his 2 goals?
Correct.
Yeah. And I would have argued it should have gone to Pulisic before Altador.
Pulisic or Wood.
Or Wood, yeah.
Correct.
They did a hell of a lot more than
Great
Altidore
atmosphere,
did.
though. Like, the people that showed up, you know, obviously we're sitting in a different spot than we normally sit. The Orlando games, we had met people. It's awesome atmosphere, tons of fun. There was a technical glitch that kept us from getting in the stadium they were having with the tickets, but the folks from Orlando City Soccer who run the stadium, like, made a call
smart.
and got us all in quickly. And we I think we're coming in and got stopped right by the national anthem right as we came in, so we didn't end up missing anything on the pitch as far as play was concerned.
Nope.
So kudos to the Orlando City organization
Yep.
for making the best of what was almost a really bad situation because it was a lot.
Especially every day for the
Yeah.
past 2 weeks leading up to the match, you get an email saying tickets are only online. You can only do online tickets, only online tickets, and then the system crashes.
Well, but also realize too that is that's U.S. Soccer though in terms of making that no hard tickets, no like that's not Orlando City.
Which I understand. They want to. It's all going to online and
Sure.
tickets anyway.
But at Orlando City, you have so many thousand people in a normal match that have a card.
Right. And you
Yes,
scan
it
the
gets
card.
scanned, but the card says, "This is my seat. This is my ticket."
Yeah.
you know?
So they had a bit of a
They didn't have
technical issue. in the-
Anybody with those, you know?
Right. The system goes down, so they try and figure it out, and then they just start checking tickets and letting people in, which was the right thing to do. They tried to solve it and couldn't, so then they just started letting everybody in.
Checking the tickets,
Right.
but then visually checking.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Yeah.
free for all.
But it was a blast. I mean, the atmosphere was amazing. We had a really good time. I mean, obviously, because we also won really big. But I'll say this. We beat up a Panama team that you feel like Panama should have played better against us. Their midfield was non-existent, which was probably a good thing because I would also argue ours was too, despite the fact we won so big in that game.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
because there was no midfield.
Yeah,
We
from
both,
either team.
We
Right.
both came out with just heavyweight, just let's throw punches and see who gets it first. And Panama should have been up first.
Yep.
They had a couple of really
They
good
had that.
chances. Torres had a chance where he should have just curled it around Howard, and we could have been sitting on a 1-0 within 6 minutes, I think.
And despite some good saves, their goalkeeper was struggling from the LA Galaxy.
He, looking back at it, he didn't have as bad a game as we thought. He stopped a lot of shots.
He stopped a
And
lot of
he's-
shots. However, when he got the ball to kick back, he gave us goals.
Yeah, the ball at the feet was not the best.
Terrible.
And he kept, but
like Joe Hart
that's
looked
not
like
what
Messi
lost
next to
them the
him.
game because he stopped a crap ton of one-on-ones with Bobby Wood, Altidore. I mean, he kept them in the game.
Yeah, he certainly did. An interesting thing that we don't normally see from U.S. soccer is good counter-attacking football. In that match, 2 of those goals came off of counterattacks, and they were fast.
When you have the fastest player on the field in Christian P.
Yeah, but even
he just
even
ran.
games,
He just ran at the back too.
but games before that match never had counterattacks like that. It was so fun to see how hungry they were. Christian P. just constantly forcing people up the field, just urging them on. He basically took that team on his shoulders and really pulled them forward in the
That
first.
first goal he scored was Superman. It was all him.
Yep, it was
All
brilliant.
him.
He had a lot to do it, but Bobby Wood got a head on it, got it flicked on to Altidore. Altidore played him in. Pulisic then had to control the ball very well, almost kind of bring the ball from behind him forward. And then, he did a lot of work and put in a shot that was at an extreme angle at full pit. Like, it was quality.
After he got himself around the keeper. He gets around the keeper, puts him at such a hard angle, and he's still just effortlessly.
He was composed enough to realize where he was, get himself around the keeper, and then at that tight of angle, because there was a defender on the line as well. So
Right.
he had to put it in a perfect spot between the post, the defender, so it hits the back of the net. And he did that while falling down perfectly.
It was awesome.
And it wasn't until there was a real early substitution by Panama. Armando Cooper came on, which why he didn't start to begin with, because everybody was thinking that Panama would come and just close up shop and just defend, and try to get a draw, because that, in theory, would have really helped them out. flash forward to days, to now. That's beyond the point, but Bradley was the only one in midfield for us.
Right.
Yes, Nagby and Areola were in the midfield, but they're more of like a right midfielder, left midfielder. They're not center holding midfielders like a Kellen Acosta or Dax McCarty, anybody along those lines. So there was a huge gaps in the midfield. Our front three played so well that they just ran at Panama's back four all night, and we were able to break free. But Bobby Wood and Christian Pulisic just ran circles around those guys. It wasn't until Cooper came on for Panama where they kind of realized if Bradley's in the midfield, we can beat them or at least contain Bradley. And then we brought in Nagby and Areola more to the inside to give him help. And then 4-0.
So, I think that kind of leads to tonight's match.
The U.S. needed to do
anything
but lose. And even if they lost, they still had hope.
Yeah.
No. The U.S. are not in the World Cup for 2018.
Since the first time
and
since
they do not
1986.
deserve to for any reason.
No.
Nope, not at all.
No. They weren't robbed of anything in this situation.
No, not at all.
I know there's tons of the mess of a pitch that Trinidad was, but
That, no.
No, yeah. You can't go into that match with the lack of urgency that they had. I don't care what the pitch looks like.
I think Taylor Twellman said it best. He was like, there are teams playing on cow pastures. So
And this is what's coming from CONCACAF teams going away in CONCACAF.
Right.
The grass is going to be long. There's going to be a lake there at the pitch. You're going to be in your hotel with rocks banging on the windows. This is going to be expected. This is nothing new. This happened for the past 20 years. This is going to happen.
You're going to blow my beef budget way out of the water.
I'll pay for every dime in this pod. That's happening. You cannot use that as an excuse. You have no reason to think otherwise going away in a hexagonal World Cup qualifying game. Yes, Trinidad are not in it, nor do they have any shot at it. But that does not mean that they can't still try to piss us off and do exactly what they did by not have us qualify.
Did you not have in the back of your head after that a great night here in town, 4-0? I just thought, man, we have this, U.S. men's national team has this way of blowing all their juice on one game. And then being terrible the next go around.
You have to be smarter going into this game. You have to be. They started the exact same lineup at Panama. Going on the road, you do not want because we didn't need to win this game.
No, it's just a 0-0.
We just did not need to lose.
Yeah.
So you do not go away looking to go on the front foot with the crowd behind you playing at home like they did against Panama, where you can just throw punch after punch in the first 10 minutes, and if a goal goes in, then you just carry the momentum forward. You can't do that. You needed to see, Bruce, U.S. Soccer needed to see what we need to get out of this game and how to get to the World Cup. You needed to help Bradley out in the midfield there. You had nothing for him there. Kellen Acosta, Dax McCarty, Fellhaber, I don't care who, but give him help there. We set out the exact same lineup. And there were large gaps. And yes, the goals came off of coming in from the wing, stopped the cross from coming in. The goal came in on an amazing worldly shot by Panama. Okay, that one.
Trinidad.
Thank you. I don't even know who the hell we're. Whatever.
Yeah, the first one was an own goal.
Right, the first one was an own goal, but you got to stop that ball from coming in the box. You didn't set yourself up to play compact.
We should have played
and to protect that back four. A back four that really didn't look all that great against Panama to begin with.
To be clear, Panama really should have been like a 2 or 3, or it should have been a 4-2 or 4-3, because there were a couple times they were well within the box, and we had a good clearance to the last, or an awesome
would
Howard
come in
goal.
steaming in.
Right.
And a goal-saving tackle, which
Although,
did a few times in this game as well. You don't have we didn't have him for majority of the fact, or for the majority of the games. I think he played like the first 1 or 2 hexagonal games. Without him, we could have lost 4-1 tonight.
Without Yedlin?
Yeah.
Who got burned all the time?
He saved a
he
goal
did
that
save-
could have made it
yeah.
3-1.
Ooh,
he
every
saved-
squirrel finds a nut.
He saved goals in the Panama game as well.
Yeah, Yedlin
he
was-
put in great
he-
tackles.
For-
he looked fantastic.
No,
was
he
one
did
of,
not. He did not.
He was one of the 2 players in
the Panama game?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I'll meet you halfway and say he had a 50-50 game at most. But he wasn't fantastic. He would step up and get burned by these through balls and these 1-2s time after time after time. 7 times in the second half he got run around in this match tonight. 7 times.
They didn't score in the second half.
I'm not saying they did. I'm saying that other people had to come in and save his ass because he steps up all the time and does not make the smart choice. The times that he's in there getting blocking a pass, that seems to be the exception to the rule of how much he steps up and gets caught out of play. He doesn't have wheels. He couldn't keep up
Doesn't
with
have wheels? Are you kidding me?
No, Yedlin's fast.
He is fast.
He was not nearly as fast as the guy that was outpacing him the entire match tonight. The entire match.
Out of everybody on that back 4, you cannot sit there. No, he was by far the best on that back 4.
He's the only one that had any production.
That
only one
doesn't mean he was good. It means our back 4's terrible.
Oh, absolutely.
So
but he's the only one that should stay in that back 4.
You're raising the bar really high for a terrible back 4.
He's the only one that should stay in that back 4.
I don't necessarily agree. If I were the coach, he'd have a lot more to prove than his performance.
The coach ain't gonna be
Well,
there
that's
to-
not
to
true because you'd
tell him
replace him with
otherwise.
no one. There's no
right.
one
There's
better.
nobody else to replace him with. His time at Newcastle and his time in the championship last year has helped him clearly. He
Then he played
is a
better
much
in
better
the,
right
maybe
back.
he played it better in other teams because he did not play. I don't agree with. I agree that he stopped a fair amount of things in the Panama match and really
and tonight as well.
He got burned so much.
He saved a goal in this game in the second half.
Ooh, he got. Everybody finds a good play every now and then.
but
You have to get yourself in that spot
if he's
and
got-
to put in a challenge like it. He stopped 2. He had one against that was on the goal line, and then he put in that tackle that everybody was like, "Is that a penalty?" No, that was actually just a really good, well-timed tackle.
He also
Hold on. So to go back to that, he was severely outpaced because he bit on the most schoolboy fake by the offensive
But
player.
he didn't give up. He didn't give up, and he hustled back and made a good play.
How about you make a smart play up front, and then you don't have that problem?
He didn't give up. He recovered very, very well.
That doesn't
and made
mean
a
he's
great
a good
tackle.
defender.
I'm not saying he's a great defender, but I'm saying he was the best out of the back 4 that we had, and he's not one to blame on any of those back 4.
I think the whole team is to blame, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. The U.S. Soccer
But I'm saying
Federation
you're
is to blame
you're
as
over
well.
there singing this guy's praises like he's the second coming for defense in the planet, and that's
not
just
the planet. No,
that's not
No,
accurate.
No, I never said the planet, but for U.S. soccer,
Yeah.
he'll be in our back 4 for the next 12 years if we even have a.
Well, maybe he'll get better.
Oh,
his
kid's
plays
still
in the last 4 years,
23
yeah.
to 24 years old. He's still young. He'll get better.
Yeah, he'll get. Also, you're going to get burned if you have no midfield at all.
Yeah, but he's
Well,
getting burned.
and you're trying
He's-
to push up the
He's
pitch to
he's
get
getting
a goal.
burned on one-on-one play. He is not getting burned on intricate balls through and multiple things. He is getting burned. He got burned all night on that side on one-on-one play.
Well, I'd argue a lot of players got burnt 1-on-1 because they tripped and fell constantly on that pitch. Not that excuse because Trinidad played in the same pitch, but that
Both
pitch was
goals
terrible. Yeah.
didn't come from his side.
But that pitch was atrocious. It's not an excuse, as again, Trinidad played on it too. But what a joke. Like, what a joke. You'd see them kick that ball and it would start at 35 miles per hour and hit 4 in about 5 feet. That was awful.
Yeah, I'm with Ferris on that. Like, yes, it was awful, but
No, it's a joke, but I mean, like,
it's certainly not like they've never played there before. I mean, we've
Not like
probably
that,
played
though.
them. Sure, it's like that all the time.
no,
It's like that. It's
yeah, but-
CONCACAF. I mean, if you're pointing the finger at anybody, point the finger at CONCACAF.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but until then, you have to deal with it. I mean, all teams have. It's not we think it's this easy. We automatically qualify every year, the hexagonal. Oh, yeah, no, it's unforgiving. We get 4 teams in. Well, now what?
Well, really, to be honest, I agree with who was the guy we were listening to? Ron just said.
Taylor Twellman.
I don't really care about this match. They shouldn't have been in this position in the first place.
Oh,
this
absolutely
failure
not.
goes back so far. And I think I said it one of the couple ones after Arena finally had a bit of, or maybe it was right when Arena got signed on, but I just said, the only thing that worries me is that he did get fired too. Like he wasn't an answer for the future of soccer.
No, the whole reason they brought him back was to qualify for the World Cup.
And people can hate on Jurgen Klinsmann, but they love Christian Pulisic and Bobby Wood, and that's where they came from.
Yeah, to be honest, I think.
I mean, I'm not like saying I'd rather had Klinsmann. That's not what I'm saying. I just mean that
who hired both of them?
Exactly. Galati
Yeah.
out. Get
Clear
the Wenger
house.
plane over here
Clear house.
and get it out. Well, and that's the thing. If they know because Galati sat there and he watched millions of dollars disappear, not because of like money they were going to get from playing, but the sponsorships, the advertisements, the energy and the passion that's been pouring forward soccer is gonna. We gotta hope MLS. Oh, buddy, they have their work cut out for them. The MLS needs to kick ass with its marketing and its hype going forward to make sure soccer stays forefront without a World Cup for the national team to get everybody excited.
Ugh.
For the men's team,
This is gonna be rough.
Our women, I'm sure, will be just fine getting into the World Cup. But as far as the excitement surrounding the men's game is concerned, the MLS better throw a lot at it to be the premier, soccer team or league here in the States, because that is disastrous to the momentum that soccer viewership is building in the States. I saw it on Twitter. Tons of people saying, well, there goes my interest in the World Cup, which I say, well, then you're not much of a soccer fan. But that's the problem. You want those people who are getting into it to watch the World Cup because they didn't watch like an Iceland or something that's a Cinderella story that they didn't plan on watching, and then they start watching more soccer in general. So now there'll be tons of people that won't tune in at all or care because the U.S. isn't in it.
And you know that
I mean,
it's true.
I can't blame them.
No. Well, I mean, I can. They're going to miss out on good soccer, but
Right, but that's
yeah,
their problem. The U.S. Soccer Federation needed to know the game was still growing in this country, and to keep the game growing, and in an age where it's so Twitter and streaming and watching everything live and replays and Christian Pulisic, and you have a superstar. Christian Pulisic is not going to get to play in a World Cup this summer.
that's crazy.
That's devastating. U.S. soccer needed to realize this World Cup was as big as any to get in. The way that this game is starting to grow in the U.S., which is going up and up and up and up and up and now, you're probably going to see it start to go down.
Well, did Bruce Arena do anything that inspired tons of confidence other than he wasn't experimenting as much as Jurgen Klinsmann?
No, I think
no.
in some games his tactics were spot on. In other matches, he did enough to get him through. Not that they had won every game or anything, but I think, like you're saying, the biggest thing that he did was he stopped the experimentation. He set a basic, normal lineup within reason, and he included a lot of players in the different camps, and that I think really helped him form as good a squad as he was going to find, and I think that's his.
Well, but okay, off that thread then. Is this as good as a result as the current crop of men's national team players is going to net us?
Clearly.
Forget the coach.
Clearly.
I think is that we now with the understanding we've got some fantastic players, but you don't have a team.
Yeah, I don't. It's really difficult because we came out so strong against Panama. And then this one,
We needed to change our tactics going
we were, change the tactics. However, I don't honestly believe that with the lethargy that we showed tonight, I don't think any specific tactic was going to net us a win.
No, it looked like it was 130 degrees.
I'm not
with
even
100
asking for a win. I'm asking for a draw.
Well, either way.
The way they played, it just seemed like
They would get the ball. They would be glued to their feet for while they looked around. Most of the other people
with people in front of them, not even looking around, man, like right in front of them to get the ball to.
And everyone, no one, we were second to almost every 50-50 ball that was out there. We waited for the second bounce. Ferris said it in the middle of the match, like there's this, it's in stoppage time, and you know their goalkeeper kicks one out, and it bounces like 2 or 3 times before a U.S. player gets on it, and Ferris is like, how do you let that ball bounce once?
We had it bounce a couple times in our box, or in their box where we could have tried to go for it, and we just watched it.
And take tactics out of it. There was no urgency. There appeared to be no heart. There appeared to be no energy. The U.S. was more concerned about going and looking at the bench and finding out what the scores were coming in across the rest of CONCACAF than they were their own game. There should not have been anybody on those sidelines that needed to know what the scores were in the rest of the game.
Right.
You need 100% focus on what you're doing in Trinidad.
Just win or draw.
You worry about you,
Right.
and you let everybody else do their thing.
And to be honest,
but you worry about you get a draw, you get a win. We're having a completely different conversation
I
right now.
complain about lethargy, but I should have hated a boring game. They should have just sat back and said, we'll take 0-0.
Absolutely. Because you want to know why? We would have stamped the ticket to the World Cup.
Because then at least if we got scored on at the very end and lost 1-0, you could say, well, at least that tactic, I see what he was doing. This was, although you know what though? Why would you try to park the bench when you got no defense and you got no midfield?
Okay, but yeah, we've established.
Park the bench, park the
no
bus. Sorry.
defense. So then why would you not put anybody in front of them to
Right.
help them?
Yep, they stranded Bradley.
Right. Why not Bradley, Cameron,
McCarty.
Acosta in the midfield? You're basically playing with an extra center back who you can play in a center defensive midfielder. Put Bradley and Acosta slightly up from him and just pack it in and defend.
So, well, what's the, I mean, I guess that's the thing moving forward is this a good thing? Because
Oh, absolutely not.
it's a,
Absolutely not.
no, hold on. Not for the momentum build, obviously. You killed the momentum. But is this a good thing because this is the opportunity for U.S. soccer to make a definitive change
No.
in the way things are run?
You cannot,
don't think they will?
No, you cannot sit here and say in any way that missing out on the 2018 World Cup is going to be a positive for us.
Oh, no, I disagree with you completely. For the game viewership and building momentum, I agree with you. But I'm talking about for actually making the product that is the play of U.S. soccer better, because here's where I disagree with you. Let's say Mexico nets one in right at the end and we had skirted in through not our own efforts into the World Cup. And then we just get blown out early playing like this anyway. But we tried the same old crap and we still got in, so we don't change anything. Bruce Arena's fine. How we're doing things is fine. If you honestly have a moment that is completely disastrous, depending on what happens with leadership, like this is the moment. Does Galati get ousted? Do things change completely? That's what I mean. Like, is this the opportunity for things to get better? Because it's a scorched earth kind of thing. Here's your opportunity to build up from the bottom.
No. Maybe.
You think we'd learn a lesson if we didn't?
Maybe in 4 years we can sit here and say yes. Maybe. But there's been no track history, nothing that would say that we are going to pull what a Germany did 15 years ago.
Yeah, but that's because we haven't had that opportunity. I mean, like
We've had plenty of
No,
opportunity
we've
to
gotten
pour
in since
money
1986.
But we've had plenty of opportunity to pour cash into our youth leagues, to coaching.
Yeah,
to play. We've had opportunities for academies, and also we're now starting to do that. But now is not several years in the making. We start now for the next World Cup, maybe, but we have to see what it's going to do. Sunil Galati had the chance to do that. He brought in Bruce. He brought in Hensman. What? Neither of those pan and showed to do anything.
Ron's trying to open
did that
another
one
beer.
do it again?
Jeez, these things are carbonated.
Boy, are they. I thought by now it'd be all right.
It's just that kind of night.
It is that kind of night. I disagree completely, though, because here's why. U.S. is still so young with its soccer. You say there's no track history. You're right. This would be it. This would be the moment for things to turn around because we have been...
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't had the opportunity to come back from a disaster.
Time will
because
tell.
from 86 on, this is about as bad as it gets because we've constantly gotten better. Although I would argue we stopped getting better and we started plateauing. We had opportunities to get better, but instead things have, very safe. Even Bruce Arena coming back in. I get it. You need to get some games to win to get to the World Cup. Well, guess what? You didn't. Why play it safe? I don't know who they would have gotten other than Bruce Arena.
Right.
But you know what? There were other people that were out there.
It's going to be tough. You say, we think U.S. soccer is going to take a downswing now because you're going to lose money, you're going to lose viewers, you're going to lose younger audiences, you're going to lose a lot.
We do like to be pissed off, though, so it may work out.
But those pissed off kids are going to go play American football so they can bash the hell out of each other.
No. We still might get good ratings because we like to be pissed off as a nation so we can watch the World Cup and be mad every day and talk about the fact U.S. isn't there.
Now we can watch it just carefree. Cheer on Iceland. Cheer on Ireland.
Right. Let's go.
I think really what this is going to come down to is what do the governing minds in the entire country, from high school development, academy developments, college, NASL,
the US
NASL,
Soccer
the entirety of U.S. soccer. What are they going to do about it?
Yeah, MLS, USL, and NASL quit yelling at each other.
I think
petition to have our U.S. women play in place of the men.
But seriously, it is like everybody needs to come together and make the game better in the States. Actually, let's talk about Iceland for a second. I'm probably going to throw out some numbers that are a little wrong, and please correct me, and I apologize for this. But it's something like, because we watched all those specials during the Iceland's run in the Euros, like 20 years ago or something, Iceland's decided, they love soccer, they watch Premier League, but they don't have a great youth program because it's cold up there. So they invest between 10 and 20 years ago. I can't remember the correct, but anyway,
they put
but they invest
money
in and they make a bunch of indoor soccer arenas and indoor soccer training areas because it obviously gets cold there. So they can train soccer year round. And then they make a great run in Euros. And now they're the smallest country to ever get into a World Cup. This is doable in a short amount of time.
Where are we
20
get the
years
money to do this now, though?
Where do we have the money, though? We're the friggin' United States of America. We have more money than friggin' God. That's not an excuse. We make so much money.
Not for soccer, we don't.
But it's spent poorly. Oh, I don't know, man.
Not for soccer.
Here's this. Guess what, buddy? We spend more than Iceland does, a lot more. But they invest in the
Iceland
right
doesn't
way.
have the NFL, NBA, AAU, NHL, MLB.
You're right, but they only have 300,000 people that live there. So they can't spend as much.
Is soccer the main sport of Iceland there?
Maybe now.
Either that or rugby.
Right.
It's probably rugby. But that is such a small country. It's embarrassing.
334,000 people population, last taken in 2016. And at the celebration, 235,000 showed up to welcome them home from the Euros.
So
that's awesome.
We do have plenty of money because we have way more than they do.
We need that.
But we don't.
We need that going into soccer, how can soccer make an argument to get more cash after showing them this?
They have, Galati has got to go. If
100%.
he goes the way of freaking, who's the NFL commissioner?
100%.
Roger Goodell.
But who are you going to bring in?
Dude, anyone at this point. This is because you know what? The next person might have a short tenure. And that's
Chuck
okay.
Blazer.
But no, here's the thing.
Alexi Lalas.
Isn't Chuck Blazer dead?
Yes. I think he is.
Alexi Lalas.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't. Anybody, even if they have a short tenure, because it's not about getting the right choice next. It's about change. Change needs to happen. If they make a change, the cracks in the armor that weren't obvious become to be obvious. The next person may be the person that changed it, or they may realize it's worse than they thought, and another quick change happens, and there's your answer. But doing the same thing, oh gosh, I'm just repeating what we saw earlier, but he's right. You can't just keep doing the same thing. Like, any change at this point is good. And that's kind of what I mean when I say, is this a moment that could be a good thing? Because any change is good. Now, if Senegalati doesn't change, if they're like, hey, well, the pitch was terrible, tough luck, and they're like, yeah, we'll keep Bruce around for whatever, then no, we're screwed. We're in a lot of trouble. And these hyperbolic comments now that we've regressed 30 years will be true if we do not make a change. I mean, I think that was the least exciting thing about Bruce Arena coming in was, I know it's late in the game and we just need to get qualified, but it's not exciting. It's not something that says America is moving forward. It's going back to the past. And that's where that's where America's stuck at right now. I would love to see Alexi Lalas. Let him take over U.S. soccer. Just make everybody angry. I'd rather see that with some passion than just coasting through safely.
You know who we need to bring in? Theo Epstein.
All right. Well, you're going to have to qualify that. Why you say that?
The dude's won a World Series with a Chicago team that hasn't won it in 50 years, and then won one with Boston in the same amount of time. The dude knows how to build a team.
I think that would at least be interesting.
Hell yeah, it would be.
I mean, the guy inherited a crappy situation coming out of Klinsmann. But the thing about Klinsmann, and we said it in here, we weren't Klinsmann haters. We appreciated the talent he was trying to cultivate. And you know what? For as much as it made MLS mad, when him saying, no, Christian Pulisic needs to go to somewhere like Germany and play, not in the U.S., he was right.
This is not on. I mean,
no, but this is what I mean, though. But this is like that is a change forward, right? Then you get rid of him, but then you go backwards. You don't build on that.
I mean, that's hindsight now. I mean, a lot of people were saying it's a safe bet. Bring him in. He knows how to qualify.
You just said it. It's a safe bet, and it didn't qualify.
Right. It didn't. So now in hindsight, we can say, oh no, you should have gone with Jurgen Klopp at the time, or you should have gone with so and so and so. I think that's a little. I think it's a little unfair, but just like in,
I don't think it's unfair.
I think just like in club sports, if a GM hires a coach, that coach bombs, he gets fired. The GM usually has one more chance to then hire a coach that can save both of their asses. If not, they're both gone. That's happened here. They both need to go.
But here's the thing. I'm not arguing they should have kept Klinsmann, but here's another side to that. Because they refused to make a change, they kept Klinsmann way past his sell-by date. That change came so late, and we're lucky we got as far as we did under Arena. That if you were going to make a change, that Arena change at the time, while, okay, that's a safe bet before the first matches are played, did also feel like, gosh, why didn't we do this a while ago instead of when we saw the way it was going? We said how it was going to go, and we watched where it went.
Sorry,
Hate cake.
I'm busy looking at the financials for U.S. soccer.
Oh, okay. Are we going to have a popper on?
I'm not saying we got tons of money like the NFL. That's for yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
no, but we got money.
But we still need cash to build academies, to build coaching academies, to build infrastructure for like soccer.
Firstly, U.S. soccer is a 501c, which means it's a not-for-profit, right? On their tax return, they basically net or keep at the end of tax season. This is the year 2015 because they don't have the way the tax laws work. They don't have to post every single year that year, so they usually leave it a year or two out. So in 2015, the money they left in the bank after tax season. $126,747,525. The total amount of write-offs and receipts, paying employees, paying for ticket vendors, all this other stuff, is over $700 million.
We got money.
So
That's also coming off of females winning the World Cup.
20, yeah.
And that money, when you spread it across 50 states, under 17s, under 16s, under 20s, under 21s, female under 20, female under 21s, that money doesn't go too far.
I don't think it's in all 50 states.
That part
But I'm just saying, in
I
terms
could be
of
wrong, but I don't know that
soccer
Montana's got it.
academies, coaching academies, that sounds like it's a crap ton, and oh my God, it is. It's a crap ton of money, but spread out across this country and what we need it to do. You take that, add 2 years onto that, add no World Cup now. That money's probably sitting about where it was in 2015, in 2018.
Well, also, you really aren't paying for a lot of things that are donated by other, sponsors and
That pay for stuff.
and-
There's a lot of money.
Sponsors are going to drop now.
No, but I'm
Well,
saying, but the money he's
before
talking
now.
about, though, doesn't even include all that.
Correct. So, Nike provides, thousands upon thousands upon thousands
It's
of
the McDonald's training
soccer-
center of whatever.
Right, of
Yeah.
soccer balls for, under 17s and high school leagues and things like that to keep the growth of soccer. And then, like Blake said, you have, the...
Spocker.
Yeah. You
It's the new Star Trek version.
you have the McDonald's playoff field.
Play
and-
long ball and prosper. Oh, it's Tony Poulos. Tony Poulos is a big Star Trek fan.
So there's a lot that U.S. soccer is not having to pay for.
And I would argue that if you looked at Iceland and saw the way they were investing compared to us, I know it's apples to oranges because of size, but there are other places doing it a lot smarter. And it doesn't feel like Sunil Gulati is going out of his way to bring in those smarter people to run things better.
Theo Epstein.
Well, you know what? If you want him
He
to
doesn't have to necessarily know the game. He just knows how to
forget
build
about coaching
a
it.
team.
Just he knows how to hire
And
winners.
young talent too. He's brought in plenty of young talent.
I want to watch the
You think I'm kidding?
made-for-TV documentary of John Madden bringing soccer to the forefront of the country. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Boom. Played by John Goodman.
Would be amazing.
Biopic.
All you gotta do is put the ball in the back of the net. Why did I go like
And all of a sudden, we win like 4-0 every match. Yeah.
All I know is that there's a lot that has to change. There is the entire soccer mentality of the entire country has to change. The fans have a role in this too, and this is going to be the sound of tons of people turning off. But how about get a education on soccer? Stop getting on Twitter and going on these ridiculously. This is my hate cake.
Not every foul's a yellow card.
Correct. Not every foul is a yellow card. Not everything just because it happened to your team is wrong. Stop it with your ignorance. Go out, read the rule book for once so that you understand what is actually happening in this amazing game. And just because you have an outlet on social media to spew your insanity about the sport doesn't mean you should. How about, and I'm fixing my own hypocritical actions here, but yes, the players have all sucked tonight. But you know what Omar Gonzalez is going to see in his head for the rest of his life? He's going to watch that ball that he kicked go into the back of the net.
That set it up. That was the game.
Remember that they are people. We have this horrible, and I'm guilty of it too. We have this horrible thing in this, and it's probably other countries, but since I only live in this one, how many people are constantly upset? Oh, this running back just got injured, and now he's worthless to me.
Because of your fantasy game.
Correct. He's still a person. And yes, he's an athlete, and injuries happen, and it sucks. But you know what? They are all people. No one. The only difference between them and us is that when you screwed up at the bank yesterday, the whole world didn't know about it over social media. You know, the plumber who came by and couldn't fix your toilet didn't know about it. The whole world didn't know.
We need Peyton Manning following us around saying, "Cut that meat, cut that meat." How awesome would that be? We have Peyton Manning following us around, just cheering us on and or bashing us when he did the Saturday Night Live with the kids in the park and he's pegging balls.
Yes.
But Ron is playing into exactly what I'm saying, though. All that stuff, though, those things, they'll forever. They're the team that didn't get in. Mm-hmm. Boy, if you thought Christian P played hard for the U.S. men's team now, just wait as you over the next 4 years. This is the chance. Like, this is it. And I'm not just trying to be, like, overly positive. Like, because I'll tell you what, seriously, we lost and then it cut to the Mexico game. I'm like, don't score Mexico. Do not skirt us into this World Cup. Now that we just lose it on your own merit. And here's your opportunity to build out of the ashes. America loves an underdog story. It doesn't get any more underdog than where U.S. men's national team is right now. So this is the moment going forward. This is the moment that is the halfway point of the Christian P biopic movie. That's the downer at the first act ends.
It really, just the entire mentality has got to change from youth level all the way to the top. The entire mentality. If you need to, how did Blake say it in the Arsenal pod? Oh, he said, "Burn it all." No. Just get rid of it.
Burn it all down. That's right.
just start over.
Yeah, start over.
I think we all can agree change needs to occur. But like you said it earlier, it needs to be smart change. We
not safe change, though.
No,
I would be more excited.
I said smart change.
No, because you know what's going to happen.
Smart change.
Yeah, but even you still have to clean the house, right?
100%,
because
100%.
what's going to happen is, yes, we're going to make some smart decisions, but in every corporate America entity that I have ever worked at, the following words are going to drive me to drink myself into an early grave. And this is the quote that I still hear all the time. Oh, well, that's how we have always done it. I want to strangle people until their eyes fall out when I hear people say, well, that's how we've always done it.
And you know that is U.S. soccer's unofficial anthem.
Well, again, smart change. They need to clear house. They need to get somebody there that... And Theo Epstein, yes, I mean...
Can I add to that real quick? Just real quick. I'm sorry. But yes, they need to clean house. But first, they clean house. Then the new people, whoever they are, they have to make a decision. And the single decision is, what do we want for soccer in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years? Find those goals and then make your changes. You can't just go, we need to be better, so blast everybody out and bring in a whole bunch of people and then just kind of figure it out.
What's your 10 years?
Well, they're really going to have to decide, what do we think U.S. soccer can become? What's the goal? Like Germany did 15 or 16 or 18 years ago and said, in 10 years, we're going to win the World Cup. So that was their goal. And they did so many smart things. We're going to have to figure out what we want our identity to be.
And MLS, NASL, and USL need to be part of that.
Correct.
Right. Yes.
But right now they're not.
Smart change.
That does not feel like a thing that's happening.
But what I mean by clear house is you clear Galati and you can't clear the board of Soccer Federation or whatever. I mean, I guess you can in theory, but I don't think it's necessarily... Okay. You need to get somebody in. And Theo Epstein is... It's kind of a... But the point I'm trying to make is you need to get somebody in that can build an organization, build a team, bring in young talent, and continue to build upon that.
Do you guys ever watch the show Arrow?
Yes.
No. You failed my city. I just need him to drop into the middle of a U.S. Soccer Federation meeting and be like, you have failed my soccer culture. And they're all out. Burn it to the ground. Burn it all.
Hashtag U.S. soccer hate cake.
Hashtag hate cake.
We kind of took over for Ferris.
Yeah.
He took in the beginning. He took over in the beginning.
Yeah, he swung the ball.
Season 2 of Arrow was my favorite season of that.
Yeah,
too.
you're so right.
Yeah, it was the best season. How the f*** do we start talking about Arrow?
Because I was trying to be happy again.
No, but you all the things you guys are saying are 100% true. Yes, you need to make. It's not just change to make change. It needs to be smart change. We need to understand where we're going, what we want to be, how do we get there.
So here's the thing. Are you going to be furious? I want Galati out within a month and a half, tops.
You could probably see that by 9 a.m. tomorrow at this rate. Who knows?
If it doesn't happen,
I'd be highly surprised if he hangs on to his job at this point.
I'd take
highly
take
surprised.
anybody. Because you know how it is too. Like,
No, you can't. No, you can't say that.
No, here's why I say that. This is always happens, right? Like people wait too long to make a change somewhere you work. And you're like, why don't they just get rid of this person that's holding everything up? And they finally do, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. And they bring it up, they bring in some candidates and they pick one, and that doesn't quite work. Well, since they already ripped the Band-Aid off earlier, they're way quicker to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid again and go, oh, that third person, that was the perfect choice. That is what I mean when I say any change is good at this point. Because anything else is just regression. The world passing us by, guys. And you know what? While we cheer on the women's national team, they're failing them too, because the rest of the world's catching up, but we're letting them. We're not trying to push forward either. So it's still on both sides.
We need to get our own house in order before we worry about the rest of the world.
Well, I mean, you got to worry if the world's passing you by.
But we need to get our in order first.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple. We need to worry about us right now. And what Ron was saying, have a 5-year plan. Oh, I guess in World Cup. Have a 4-year plan. Have an 8-year plan. Have a 12-year plan. Have those things first, but you need to bring in the right people to do that. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that knows about soccer. It could be a businessman that just knows how to build a team, i.e. the Theo Epstein type. I understand. I'm going exaggerate, but a GM type that knows how to cultivate and bring in the proper pieces. The Tampa Bay Lightning owner and Jeff Vinnick has done wonders for what he's done with that hockey team in Tampa, from new stadium to bringing in talent to having a system to bringing in a coach that understands young talent. Somebody like that would work just fine. You don't need anybody who knows about soccer. That person then needs to hire somebody in the U.S. men's national team spot, the U.S. women's national team spot, the U.S. under-21 spot, that then know about soccer. And if you want them to have extra help, then bring in a soccer director of football or a soccer director for the U.S. men, a soccer director for the U.S. But you don't necessarily, that first person does not necessarily have to know everything there is about soccer.
They have to know how to put a team together.
They have to know how to just build a culture. That's what they need to know, how to.
And to Ron's point, if we get
to
more
build a culture and also bring hope. There is no hope for the U.S. men at this current time. There's nobody that has.
We need a new hope.
Interesting fact.
Don't sing too many lines, or we'll have to.
The U.S. Soccer Federation has a vote coming up in February.
Too long.
No kidding.
Yep.
Too long.
And you know
Well, not anymore. We're not making the World Cup. So what's the way now?
Hey, what are you guys doing next week?
on the short list of people running?
Oh, this will be exciting.
Well, so far in the article, I've only found one.
Hulk Hogan.
No, actually, an interesting choice.
I take The Rock. The Rock.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Super nice guy, by the way.
I'll take Rose Lavelle.
No. We need her to play for the men in 4 years.
We're talking about the fictitious private eye detective we created.
Correct.
Oh, true.
Eric Winalda is on the short list, which that could go either way, but at least there's somebody thinking about the challenging.
You're talking about for what position was this for? Sorry.
Galati's job.
Pilates?
Because the vote is in February.
Again, I like Winalda. I like Lalas. I like Twellman. They're all U.S. men's international players. that job doesn't need to have anybody in it that knows necessarily about soccer. And they ride their heart on their sleeve. You don't need anybody in that. You need a businessman almost.
So 2 other people I just found. Paul Lapointe, a Massachusetts-based former indoor soccer team owner. And John Mata, another person from New England who is on the U.S. soccer board currently.
Go away from...
I don't have a problem with Ronaldo. And here's why. It plays to what you're talking about, though. You don't know that. Wijnaldum may be a guy that has
Wijnaldum? Did you just tie him into the Liverpool
Yes.
Dutch player? The Dutch will also not be in the World Cup.
No, they will not.
Two of my teams.
But that ties into kind of what you were just saying, though. Like, you were just saying someone needs to put a team together, a culture, and get out of its way. Well, maybe that's the way to go. I'll tell you what, I'm not a Denver Broncos fan, but I really dig John Elway running the Broncos, and he's doing a good job.
Here's another one.
Because he gets out of the way.
Here's another one. Boston attorney Steve Gans.
Sounds like a fine chap to me.
I don't know anything.
I don't know anything about him either.
Well, what'll be exciting as we lead to it, we'll make it the campaign special. As we roll forward, we'll each pick a candidate.
This ought to be fun.
We'll pick a candidate. How many candidates are there at this point?
So far, there's
Zlatan
4.
Ibrahimovic.
There's 4. Okay,
So far, but of course, none of them have to officially announce candidacy yet.
I don't care. We're gonna pick those. Of the 4, we're gonna pick, right?
No, in our luck, it'd be Seth Platter comes in. That'd be the U.S.
The last, like a WWE, the last minute. He's coming out.
Although Gans is the first person, he's already assembled a steering committee of business and legal professionals and a small group of volunteer advisors to start him on his campaign. He looks like
Is the
and
attorney out of...
Here's the thing. And we
he's the Boston attorney. There's an interesting thing. U.S. Soccer Federation guidelines only allow Galati to seek one more term if he wins this year. So if he seeks this coming election and wins, he's
say that a lot of people around there who play it safe, dude. And if they think, well, we can just do this, and then it's not going to really replacing me. He just runs out his tenure. I'm just saying.
Like, what does he have to show to re-elect me for?
Dude,
I'm
not arguing.
He has a women's soccer team controversy
but you're talking to me.
That
it's the Soccer Federation.
That side of the Soccer Federation.
They don't care
for 2 years, and then he has this. The first time we haven't made a World Cup in what was it,
1986, I believe.
86.
The USL,
that's
the
your
USL
Pro.
Strong.
What,
NASL
you have a
are in
gold cup
turmoil.
to show? You have a gold cup that you won?
Playoffs.
Who the cares about the gold cups? I would take. Playoffs. I would take a qualification via the play-in game to a World Cup and place 5th in the Gold Cup right now.
Oh yeah.
So what does Galati have to show in the past 2-3 years?
I mean, again though, this is a group that held on to Jurgen Klinsmann way too long. Everybody else had called it.
How happy is he right now?
I don't know. What is he doing right now?
He's probably sitting there with a 6-pack of some awesome German beer, just smiling, sitting out on a patio, having a cigar, just laughing his ass off. Good for him. Good for him.
Oh, our first pod started with him knocking on the door.
That's right.
Hey, if he knocks on the door right now, come on in, brother. Have a seat. Have a beer.
What a mess.
That'd be a fun,
Exactly.
That'd be a
What a
fun
mess.
interview.
What a hot mess. You know what? I'm glad Ron's beer exploded all over the place because pretty much sums it up. That my night of watching the U.S. men's national team get eliminated from the World Cup, my house now smells like a brewery.
And we built a crib.
And we built a crib to the future.
To the future.
Cheers to that.
Please tell me that your daughter can play for the men in 4 years.
It's in 4 years.
4 years.
It could
I'm
be
expecting a lot.
Serious
Expecting a lot.
improvement.
Her and she and Christian P.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so out of the current U.S. men's squad, who stays on?
Christian Pulisic, Bobby Wood.
Obviously. Boom, boom.
Despite Ron, it'd be Yedlin.
Yeah.
Boo.
I think that's it.
I think that is it.
Well, I'm in for two of the
Nagby?
three.
But he's getting. But I mean, he doesn't have long left. I don't
Acosta,
think.
Nagby.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see
mean, there's
anybody else
not.
on there that's really sticking out at me.
We need people. We need people. That's our big. You know what? And that's the biggest thing. We need better players overall. Again, the world outpacing us, as they always have with soccer. We're playing catch up on the men's side.
Now we're playing a hell of a lot more catch up.
I mean, we're going to be playing catch up for quite some time.
This set us back.
But here's a hopeful look to the future. We have a Bobby Wood and we have a Christian Pulisic playing over in Europe right now, and they're doing very well.
They're young.
They're young, and their start. He's at Dortmund. Christian P scored in the Champions League.
He's going to be 22 come the next
World Cup.
Yeah, that's
so
still pretty young.
Just remember that when he's 22, that might mean the next Christian P is 18. So we have a chance. Our under 21 has actually had some good success.
Pretty decent, yeah.
So, I mean, there might be some stuff on the horizon that's a very different situation than we are now. But I think we all agree that soccer in general, MLS, NASL, USL, have got to come together stronger.
They gotta get
with
their heads out of their ass.
Well, but hold on now. Before we bust on them, is U.S. Soccer Federation playing well with them to help create an overall culture? And I don't know the answer to that. And right now, the way the U.S. Soccer Federation is led by Sunil Gulati, I lean on not thinking that that's the case. It's going to have to be led by U.S. Soccer to create this sort of family here. And I don't think that's happening yet. Needs to.
I think everybody's head's in their ass.
Do you know like what's super sad is U.S. Soccer doesn't appear on the front page hardly ever on any.
Will tomorrow. Or
It
probably
will
already
on
has.
Probably every USA Today, New York Times, Time Mag, whatever.
Our players can get used to what it's like to be an English player for a change. Hopes dashed. They'll get
England's at least in the World Cup.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Woof, man. Man.
All we can hope for is change.
What's that old
Positive,
joke?
smart change.
What's the difference between the English national team and tea? One stays in the cup longer. Let's end this on a dad joke. It just broke Ferris.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of true
But it
though.
was fairly accurate.
Oh,
Although we can't make fun of them. We were.
No.
no.
I was trying to think of something for like the hex, but I can't.
It's nothing. Well, yeah, there's that. So that's that pod.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about that. Yeah, I don't even want to talk. We'll talk about NWSL playoff stuff later because this was right after the match. We stayed with that.
Pride or not in it, North Carolina Courage and Portland Thorns will play this
Saturday in Orlando.
at 4:30 on Lifetime in Orlando.
Are you guys able to make it? Either one of you guys?
I will be there, yes.
I am not able.
I'm on the road.
All
I
right,
will be there.
Ferris, you are our Twitter play-by-play. Then we're counting on you. Don't let us down. I'm going to root for North Carolina.
I'll try not to beat the
because
US
that's
men's
where
national team.
that's my home state. So I'll officially be a Courage fan for this match.
I'm going to root for Carolina.
I don't really care. I just want to see a good game. I think it's actually going to be a boring game. You may see a 1-0 or penalty kicks on and off of it.
Well, you'll be there
0-0.
while we're doing work stuff.
I'm rooting for Carolina because I want them to take out Portland since they took out Orlando.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Also, 7:30 a.m. Manchester United, Liverpool Premier League is back. Thank the Lord.
Oh my gosh, we can talk about anything else. And seriously, we all going to order Iceland jerseys, or you get an Ireland jersey? I understand that.
Ireland jersey.
All right, we'll get some.
Well, they have to make it first.
Well, fair enough.
They are in the
One step
playoff
closer.
round.
One step
they
closer,
are.
so
They
we'll-
made
They
it
beat
further
Wales.
than the U.S., so
We'll
they're in the
see what happens, and
playoffs.
I'm
round.
definitely gonna get an Iceland jersey. Whew. All right, gentlemen. Well, I appreciate you coming over and helping me build a crib for the new little one.
Literally the highlight of my night.
It was the highlight of the night. Pizza was good too.
Oh, pizza was damn good.
We'll we took a time lapse.
Beer was great. Yeah, we did take a time.
We
lapse.
did a time lapse of us putting the crib together, so we'll stitch that together and then throw that up on our Insta, Facebook.
Twitter grams.
Right.
Well, on that note, you can find us on Twitter at Brewtiful Game. You can find us on Instagram and
Where we're starting stories on Instagram
Yep,
now.
and find us on Facebook, also on Untapped. Thank you to everyone. We have gotten so many reviews lately.
you.
Really, really
Thank you,
appreciated. We still have some koozies and some magnets, so please, if you leave us a review, just take a screenshot or whatever, send it to us, and we will get a magnet or a koozie out to you, or a combination of the two. I don't know.
You serious, Clark?
I may be serious. I might be serious. Headed your way shortly. And for the folks who have dropped in, you guys should be getting yours out in the mail soon. We will let you know that when they get out in the mail. We really appreciate it. Also, if you just shared our show with your friends, that would be huge too. We really appreciate that. Our website's thebrewtifulgame.com.
Beer blog's updated.
Ooh, beer blog is updated by Ron today. So all the beers we've
guess
gone
how many
through.
beers we've reviewed?
Let's see, we're up to episode 70. So obviously this one's probably not on there, but so 69 episodes. We had a few with a couple of beers. So what are we at? Like 75?
82.
77.
Way off.
Wait, well, no, we were close. We were close. 77 beers.
Yep.
77 beers. Beers on the wall. 77 beers. God bless it.
That was amazing.
76 bottles of beer on the wall. 76 bottles of beer.
I'd say it
Take one
had
down.
enough. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna just hope for the future. That's the final thing I'm gonna say on this pod. And I smell like Belgian beer that's been spilled all over me. All right, gentlemen. Love the beer, cherish the game. To the future of U.S. soccer. May it be brighter than tonight.
Cilantro.
Cheers.
USA. Yeah, whatever.
I listen, I rag on him. I'm still the fan.
I'll USA my brains out tomorrow.
Go Iceland 2018! Skål!